Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the recent news that has come regarding the Republic Day Parade, which will be held on 26th January 2024. So on this particular day, the French President Emmanuel Macron is going to become the chief guest. So in this video, we are going to discuss in details about the relevance of selecting chief guest for the Republic Day Parade and what is the process which the government of India basically goes through before selecting a particular dignitary as its chief guest. So first of all, to give you the brief background of this particular issue, France President Emmanuel Macron, he will be India's chief guest for the 2024 Republic Day celebrations. The Elysee French Presidential Palace has confirmed this. Elysee Palace is something like what you can call as the Rashtrapati Bhavan in India, which is the official residence of the French president. At the same time, Ministry of External Affairs of India, it also has confirmed the same statement where it has said that at the invitation of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, President of France, will be visiting India as chief guest for 75th Republic Day celebrations. To remind you, in the year 2023, when the Republic Day celebrations were held, basically it was the Egyptian president who was invited as the chief guest. So let us try to understand how India's Republic Day chief guest is chosen, why it is an honor for the dignitary who is coming as chief guest to be invited, and what is the significance of this particular invitation, in particular for relation between the two countries. Now, if we talk about the matter of being invited as chief guest, obviously it is a matter of great honor which is bestowed upon by India to the dignitaries. So basically, being invited as chief guest at Republic Day celebration is or something that we can consider as the highest honor a country accords in terms of the protocol. Now, whenever a person is invited, the dignitary is invited as chief guest, there are some general order of events that he participates in the India. So if you look at the general order of events, so first of all, as we know that he is a chief guest, so he will be at the front and center in many ceremonial activities that will be held either on the Republic Day itself or preceding or succeeding it, which have over time become a part of the fabric of the event and the run-up to it. So the ceremonial guard of honor is the first event that the Republic Day guest is generally participating, and this is held at the official residence of the Presidents of India, that is at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Following that, then a reception is hosted by the President of India in the evening. Obviously, between these two events, the chief guest participates in and basically looks over the Republic Day celebration, Republic Day parade that goes all the way from India Gate, from Presidential Palace to the India Gate. Then laying of wreath is also something that has been included as a major event which is done at the Rajghat to honor the Mahatma Gandhi. And there is also a banquet which is organized in the honor of chief guest. Banquet is something that we can call as a lunch that is hosted by the Prime Minister of India himself and caused by the Vice Presidents and the External Affairs Ministers. Now, if we talk about the invitation that is given or that is basically offered to the chief guest, so basically it is a very, very symbolic visit. For example, the visit of the chief guest is full of symbolism. How? Let us try to understand this. So first of all, the invitation itself portrays the chief guest as participating in India's pride and happiness, which is clearly visible in the Republic Day celebrations. Second, it also reflects basically the invitation that is sent out to invite the dignitaries on Republic Day. It is not given to anyone. Rather, it is given on the basis of the warmth in the relationship that exists between India and the other country. So it also reflects the friendship between the two countries and the people, the citizens of two countries, that is represented by the President of India and the chief guest themselves. Third, this symbolism not only does not serve the purpose of only showing for the media or television. Rather, it serves as a very powerful tool of what we can call as a soft diplomacy to forge and renew ties between India and the nation of its invitee, having greater political and diplomatic significance as well. And that is why preceding or succeeding the Republic Day participation, generally the country and India basically sign some important agreements or take further their overall this bilateral relations. Now, how is the Republic Day chief guest is chosen? So let us try to understand this. So first of all, the process begins somewhere 6 months before the celebration, that is 26th of January. And the major things that is taken into consideration before curating the list of invitees is the nature of relationship between India and the country concerned. Obviously, if the relationship is not very good, or the relationship has basically went into a phase of lull, in that case generally that country is overlooked. Then second is, since it is the ultimate sign of friendship between India and the country of invitee, obviously these things have to be taken into consideration. Third, the political, commercial, military and economic interests of India are crucial drivers of the decisions. So many times what we see that sometimes also what happens, if India has a very strong relationship where a lot of decisions has already been taken in the recent times in these area of interest, again there is no such point of inviting the dignitaries of that particular countries, because nothing much can be achieved there. So whenever there is a huge scope for development of political, commercial, military and economic relations, generally that country is preferred by the Ministry of External Affairs. Historically, if we talk about, then since the this first invitation that was sent on the Republic Day, the choice of chief guest has also been determined by the association India has with a movement that we call as the organization that we can call as the NAM, or non-aligned movement. So the first invitation that was offered on Republic Day went to President Sukarno of Indonesia. Now, briefly, we talk about non-aligned movement or NAM. It was an international political movement of newly decolonized nations in the 1940s, 1950s, which wanted to stay out of the squabbles that on one side you have United States of America and European Union, or basically you can say European countries at that point of time, as European Union did not existed. And on the other side, we have the Soviet Union-led camp. So these countries, newly independent countries, they wanted to remain out of the squabbles of the Cold War and also want to support each other at the same time in the nation-building journeys. This basically led to development of NAM as a bloc. So that is why the first chief guest of the parade in 1950 was the President Sukarno of Indonesia, who was one of the 5 founding members of the NAM. Now, if you look at the 1961 NAM conference attendees, we can see the NAM membership also has extended, and for example, countries such as Nepal, Myanmar, Cambodia, Indonesia, Sri Lanka in Asia, countries such as Egypt, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia in Africa, then we have Lebanon, Cyprus, then we have in Africa, on the Western Africa also many countries are there, and then Cuba in the what we can call as the Central America. These countries were invitee of the NAM conference in 1961. So it actually garnered a lot of interest, especially till the time when the Cold War was still existing till 1991. Now, once the name or the list of the invitee has been taken into consideration, further then the Ministry of External Affairs seeks the approval of both the Prime Minister and President on the matter. Once the approval is obtained, the MEA then asks the ambassadors of the concerned countries to discreetly ascertain. Now, this is very, very important task, because many times what happened, many times even if India want to invite a certain dignitary, certain president or prime minister of a particular country, they might have some packed schedule during the times of 26 January or Republic Day, and thus they might be in unavoidable prior commitment, and in that case they cannot come confirm their arrival in India. In that case, what happens, MEI, which is precisely because of this reason, Ministry of External Affairs does not have just a single name on the list. It basically create a list of potential candidates and choose whoever is willing and is available during the times of Republic Day. In this stage, discretion is of utmost concern, utmost importance, as no formal invitation has yet been made by India. A detailed program is then for the trip, and the Republic Day ceremonies is then shared and discussed between the protocol chief of India and its counterpart from the visiting nation. Now, obviously, despite all the precautions that is taken during the Republic Day parade, there is many things that can go wrong. For example, there is always the possibility of things not going to plan, something that the organizers have to prepare beforehand as well. For example, if VIPs are there, they can have health issues that can cause delays. Second, then can be untimely rain or foggy kind of weather that can spoil a lot of things. Third, organizers prepare and rehearse contingency for all kind of situations, so that on the big day things go smoothly. And in this case, one very interesting case that has been shared with the earlier or the previous ambassador of India, that as per official, an incident occurred where the aide de camp or ADC as it is called, that is a personal assistant or secretary the person of high rank of the Republic Day chief guest, he also attempted to accompany the chief guest for the inspection of the guard of honor. However, in the practice or the rehearsal that were done, the commander of the Tri-Services Guard accompanies only the visitor. ADC was not accompanying him. So the insistent ADC had to be physically restrained by the official present at the spot so that he does not go along with the chief guest. So this kind of situation is something that is very commonly can occur during the actual celebration, actual event. Now, overall, if talk about the invitation and the following events, it presents a big picture that describe the relationship between the two countries, that is India and the invitee countries. The media, obviously, a huge media party accompanies the chief guest and would continuously be reporting in their country on every aspect of the visit. So, to foster and further grow good relations, it is necessary that the chief guest nation perceive the visit as having been successful and that their head of state has been shown all courtesies and given due honor. And in the modern world, visual coverage obviously is of great importance. Everyone is looking at the television at what is going on, and thus the programs and protocols keep this point also in the view. Earlier, various chief guests and their ambassadors who have been invited to India's Republic Day celebration, they have been profuse in their praise for India's ceremonies and the protocol it accords, and obviously because India's hospitality that it offers to the chief guests reflects its traditions, cultures and history. Thus, what we can say in the conclusion that the chief guest of the Republic Day is a ceremonial honor that is presented to the head of state of a country that its significance rises beyond purely the ceremonial. As we have discussed this before also, that such a visit can open new possibilities in all the arenas, such as in the terms of security cooperation, in terms of what we can say is economic cooperation, in terms of what we can call as the people-to-people cooperations, and thus it can go a long way in furthering India's interests in the world. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you understood about the brief topic about India's Republic Day invitee and how the process is. Thank you very much.